Welcome. I'm going to take the next few minutes and describe and explain the chiropractic compliance program. As you know, compliance is not simply an event. It's a process. It takes time. Even the government and CMS realizes that it's going to take us a while to make our practices compliant with all the new regulations. So what I did was actually sit down and determine what I thought would make a nice, easy process for the doctors like ourselves that are in practice. This is not written by an academic. This is written for a practicing doctor to use in his active practice. It's better if you actually do it incrementally with a system. So it's not stressful for you, it's not stressful for your staff. You're able to actually do this and be successful in putting this into play in such a manner that it doesn't interrupt your flow with your patients. You know, that's our job, see our patients. It's not to have to stop and put all of these things in place to make sure that we're compliant with all the government regulations. So what I did was actually did a step-by-step process, so that you really don't have to be a compliance expert. You just have to follow the process. It starts with a simple question and answer. Questions that customize the program to you. The government requires that each program is customized to each individual office. Well, what we did was create a manner so that you could customize this to your specific practice. So by answering questions on the program, you simply fill in the blanks in the system so that it is your compliance program. It's not something that somebody else gave you. It's not something that you have to create. All the work's done. You have to write the policies and procedures in a specific manner so that they support you not only in an audit, but also in court. These were written in that manner. These are there to protect you as well as help you to become a compliant operation. So just for an example, let me show you some of the questions that we actually ask so you can see how simple it is. Which of the following positions in your clinics have checked signatory responsibilities? Is it going to be just you? Is it going to be the clinic director, front desk CA? You go through and you choose who actually is going to be signing your checks, because that goes into the compliant operation. It's more than just a HIPAA manual. Just a HIPAA manual does not really meet all the requirements, especially today with the new requirements that have come out since this first was started with HIPAA several years back. So things like your dress code. Your dress code is going to be different than what I had in my office. It may be the same, but this gives you the way to actually take and customize it. So does your clinic have a dress code? Some don't. You just says yes or no. Does your clinic require clean, unwrinkled, properly maintained uniforms and clothing? That seems pretty confident. That would be what you want. You just check. You go through a list of questions, either checking yes, no, check what you want, or fill in the blanks. Does your clinic provide free chiropractic care for your employees? Some do, some don't. So you check off, and once you've checked that off, then the program puts in a policy and procedure that explains that and describes that in a legal manner, so that you actually can show, as you're going through an audit or if you're being sued, you can actually show how your processes work in your office. That these are the ways that your staff are responsible for what they do. Do you have a bonus schedule? If you don't, check no. That takes care of all of those processes are taken out. But if you check yes, then you can go through and describe how your bonus schedule works. Bereavement absences. Do you give your staff time off for grief? Things like that. Again, simple check, yes or no. And it's designed to go through these different parts of the program, such as for your safety manual. Do you have one now? Great. If you don't, we fills this in for you. Where's your fire extinguisher? OSHA requires that all healthcare providers have a fire extinguisher in their office. Where's yours located at? So again, it's meeting more than just the requirements for HIPAA. Because when you look at what HIPAA actually does, it creates a compliant environment. So within that environment, you have to be able to interrelate different parts. So, I know you can find, or it may have been given, a HIPAA manual by a state association or another group that you belong to. Typically, though, those require you to actually write the policies and procedures so they're customized to your office. We've customized them. You just answer the questions, but you're going to have them written for you. You don't have to do anything but go through and answer these questions. There's several. It's going to take you a little bit of time to go through and answer the questions, but it customizes. And once you've done that, you're done. And then we put it together, a whole program for you to put it into your play with your office. So it takes you through step by step. Print out this letter. Sign this letter. Give it to your CA. Print out this training agenda. Give this to your staff during the training meetings. Every little step is all laid out in a nice systematic manner. You're not going to have to stop seeing patients. You're not going to have to close down your office and do all of this. There'll be certain things you're going to do every week or two, maybe just once a month. You're going to have your complete operation compliant. And that makes it so easy and simple for you to run, or your office manager to run, your CA to run, whoever, but it's set up to be easy for you to do. There's different things like operation manual. The operation manual has things in here that covers you for lawsuits, but also there's things here that really do interrelate with the HIPAA or with high tech or with some of the other security requirements. But it's all designed to take an office and go from no compliance to completely be compliant with everything. OSHA, all of your high tech and your HIPAA and your ACA, all these different requirements that we have to be compliant with all have to interrelate, and they can't contradict each other. You want to make sure that these are consistent, and that's one of the problems with some of these free programs that you're given is they're not consistent with other operations that you have to have in your office. Remember, there's a whole set of regulations for a healthcare provider, but then also for small businesses. A lot of chiropractors really have problems with their operations because they are not thinking of themselves as a small business. We have Department of Labor regulations we have to follow, ADA, EEOC, all these other things that have to be applied into our offices because we're a small business. It's more than just a healthcare. So with all of this in play, you can make sure and feel confident that you're compliant with all these different regulations. Their Department of Labor has specific things that we have to do when we're hiring and firing our staff. Are you doing those now? Most chiropractors aren't. Are you maintaining the records that you have to maintain for when you hire an employee? Do you have a personnel file that has all the requirements? Well, the HR manual has got it for you. It outlines exactly what goes into your employee's personnel file. All the documentation you have when you hire somebody is there. All of the background check information that you have to have is there. It's all put together as a system so that as you run through the program, you're going to meet all of these requirements. It's simple step by step by step. And whether you do it as the doctor or whether you do it as the office manager, either one can do it. It's set up so that it walks you through, and you're going to have to train your employees on some of these programs and some of the policies and procedures. The training materials are here for you. Even prep sheets so that you are trained to give the training to your staff. All the documents, all the forms are all here set up for you so that all you have to do is print them out. The forms are all customized to your office with your office title. Everything is set up so when it prints out, it's got your name, your clinic, everything. You can confidently put this program in place and not have to worry about it. It decreases your stress. It makes becoming compliant as stressless as possible. Sure, you're going to change a few of your processes, but I found that a lot of doctors are already practicing in a compliant manner. They just don't have the documentation. They just don't have their operations in writing. So by doing this, you've got the legal documentation, and that is so important when you have an audit. When they come in and do an audit, sure, they're going to look at your SOAP notes, they're going to look at your patient files, but they're going to want to see how you're operating as a business. They're going to see all of this as well. You can be confident. It is here. It is customized to your office. It is set up so that you can put this into play in a very, very simple manner. So it's done for you. It's done easily, and it walks you through step by step. Hopefully, it will make it much easier for you to take your office and make it a compliant operation.